So the big news right now is Kamala Harris wins. She won the debate. But you got to ask yourself what it means to win the debate. So, of course, you've got the Kamala cope. That's what I call it. The anti-Trumpers who are posting laughing emojis being like, everybody knows Kamala won. Dude, just because your friends at the New York Times said she won doesn't mean it's true. The first thing I would say is on the surface, everyone's going to claim their person won. I think it's fair to say that Kamala was better prepared than people thought. I think it's fair to say that she goaded Trump and actually got him off kilter on many points. But I'm not sure that in the end, Kamala actually is the winner in terms of tangibles. So you ask yourself what it means to win a debate. Ian, do you think Kamala won the debate?
No.
You don't think she won the debate?
No, I don't think either of them won that debate. They both look like idiots in my mind. Not idiots. They both look like bitter people with no plan.
So are you going to vote for either of them?
No, that was disgusting to watch.
So here's pineapple. What is it? Are you wearing pineapples? Or
yeah, Richie
cones?
Jackson gave this to me.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Thanks.
He's wearing, I don't know what that is. I'm kind of...
Trump won't tax your pineapples.
I hope not.
Right.
I think it's a lamp.
So the goal
is
something
you
how
see
you
in a
convince
vision, you know?
Ian Crossland to vote for Donald Trump. And this is the point. I think that what Ian is saying has actually been reflected by many of the surveys and the polls that were done. New York Times, all the people saying undecided. I think they had a couple people said Harris, but then most of the panel just said, I don't know that anybody won. And I'm going to tell you this. That means Trump won. And I know all the liberals and leftists are going to be like, cope and seethe. Dude, you can tell me whatever you want. If you ignore the facts, it'll be your detriment in 54 days. The reason Trump won, if that's the case, is Trump didn't have to win. So in the debate, Kamala goads Trump. Trump makes mistakes. We get out of this with people saying, I don't know who won. That was ridiculous. Well, Trump didn't need anything. Kamala was already failing, calling herself the underdog. Kamala needed the opportunity to prove that she had something to change, and she did not. Trump could have gone up there and done the chicken dance for an hour, for all anyone cares. As long as Kamala articulated her plan and helped people understand what she would do that was different, she would have won. She did not. She answered her questions as insults to Donald Trump, and Trump responded to the insults. And all anyone saw that didn't know anything about politics was two people yelling at each other.
I think the problem is the media is looking at this like sports, right? They think if Kamala gets Donald Trump flustered, she gets a point. So if she does it twice, she gets 2 points. If he doesn't do it to her, then, he doesn't get any points. But both candidates went in with different objectives. And I think her campaign really miscalculated by trying to make Trump look bad. That's why they wanted the mics, right? They said, no, the American people deserve to hear what he's saying, however deranged it is. They wanted him to be this caricature that they have created of him. But Donald Trump is a known quality in American politics. I mean, he launched his campaign for presidency, the first one 8 years ago. He's been on the scene for over a decade. He's been a public figure for way longer than that. And so if he looks brash, if he looks like he's getting angry, it doesn't make a difference. She had to prove that she was a personality, and B, someone with policies who understood them, and she did neither.
I'll tell you real quick, I gotta read this point just before, so put a tag on that. This is from the Liberal Patriot, who writes, there are clearly reasons for concern besides the data noted above. And so I'm jumping down, mind you. He says, polling right after the debate found that Harris did little to improve voter confidence in her ability to handle the all-important issue of the economy. A CNN flash poll among debate watchers found that before the debate, voters trusted Trump over Harris on the economy by 16 points. And after the debate, they favored Trump by 20 points. Furthermore, if you look at the crosstabs, working class voters before the debate favored Trump over Harris to handle the economy by 29 points, an advantage for Trump, which increased slightly to 32 points after the debate. Not exactly what the Harris campaign had in mind. So if you want to talk about who won, you can sit here and say Trump got mad and got flustered and Kamala sounded better. Dance all the way to November for all I care. Because when it comes to the economy, stupid, Trump won.
I got if Harris acted like she acted I'm not even going to call it a debate because they weren't debating anything. I didn't even hear them debate any ideas. If she acted like that in the room with Xi Jinping, she'd be laughed out of that room and just totally ignored in the future.
Well, how about this? She goes to Ukraine to talk with Zelensky. 3 days later, Russia invades.
Well, and I like what you're saying. It wasn't really a debate. It was sort of a parallel interview of both of them. I mean, occasionally they would be asked to comment on the other one's response. They would, they would want to, but the moderators would be like, Tim, here's one question on this issue. Now, Joel, here's a different issue that we're going to pivot to. Daniel Turner talked about this last night. We used to have multiple debates, and they were thematic: economy, national security, whatever the next one was. And this time it was sort of like, we don't know if we'll see Kamala Harris again, so we might as well try and ask them a bunch of stuff.
You're both wrong. It was clearly a debate. It was the Trump Muir debate. Muir got some good jabs in against Trump, but I think Trump countered pretty well, and also Kamala was.
Trump was like,
I thought that was one of your best tweets.
They are invading our country over. He said it like 7 times. I'm like, oh my God, enough already. I get it. Yeah, they are. One or twice, and that's it. Sorry.
Kamala needed to make the case for herself on the debate stage, and even more important, she needed to separate herself from Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden was already on the path to being destroyed, 50-state loss against Donald Trump. And I think the New York Times put out a piece where they said that undecided voters had said that Kamala wasn't able to separate herself from Biden on issues like the economy and the military. She said, I mean, she straight up said that she was proud of the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. She's proud of this record inflation. And so if she wasn't able to differentiate herself from Joe Biden, I think that's the biggest loss for her. Because people lived under a Trump presidency. They know what to expect with Donald Trump in the White House. And I mean, we kind of know what to expect with Kamala Harris in the White House as well. And so if you're just comparing those two, I think Trump has the upper hand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's important to note, Harris is not Biden. And for Trump to even intimate that she is ridiculous. Your vice president has no authority over what you do as the president. I mean, they're backup.
Biden says that she's the last one in the room after all the major decisions.
But he's still making every decision. She doesn't make
spent
any of those decisions.
3 years insisting that it was the Biden-Harris administration. This is one of the, this was not true of the Obama-Biden administration. They really just called it the Obama administration. Also true of the Trump-Pence administration. It was really just the Trump administration. But Biden's White House has gone out of their way time and time again to make sure her name is included on everything. And I think that is partially on her camp's insistence, but also because Biden used her as this token hire to say, I am promoting, a diverse woman who's going to rise to the ranks and do whatever. But that ultimately means that she asked to have responsibility for his legacy. And on stage, she's saying, I'm not Joe Biden. But then she will try and take credit by saying, well, we are really proud of what we were able to do this, that, and the other. She is a we when convenient. She's tied to Biden when she thinks she can win American voters. But when they don't like Biden, she's not a part of that at all. That's disingenuous to me.
Same thing on the southern border. They named her the border czar immediately. And now that we've seen the border just totally destroyed under their administration, now all of a sudden she had no involvement. The mainstream media saying she had no involvement.
I think this is the clip. I could be totally wrong, but I'm going to play it anyway, so, whatever.
Good evening. I'm William Worm. Before we begin, we have just received word that Squiggly Miggly will not be attending tonight's debate due to the fact he blew his head off with a 3D printed shotgun. We want to remind the audience to please not talk out loud, to not applaud. You're just wasting time. Now, our first question tonight goes to Mr. Frog.
Mr. Frog, why are you so evil? You have 1 second to respond.
Hello,
Time's up, plus you're wrong. The next question is for our beloved and highly intelligent president. Why are you so amazing? You have unlimited time to respond.
So everybody was sharing this clip being like, this is what the debate is.
Yeah, it did feel like that at times. I felt like the fact checks on Trump, many of which were incorrect, were so obviously... it was so obviously against Trump and to Kamala's benefit. They did ask her the occasional tough questions, which a lot of times she either avoided answering or stumbled through. But it is striking when you say the CNN moderators were better, partially because everyone just watched Joe Biden self-destruct, but they interrupted less than the ABC moderators.
The most shocking moment of the debate was when Trump was asked if he still thought he lost 2020 because he said, I lost by a whisker. And he was like, no, I was being sarcastic. And Muir goes, well, I didn't take it that way or something like this. And it's like that
nobody asked you.
Well, but that was the moment where the facade was completely gone.
Yep.
We're fact checking. Not anymore. You're not. Now you're giving your opinion as a random guy that no one asked.
Yeah, they fact checked him saying that babies could be terminated after birth. They're like, no, they can't. And he was like, okay. They fact checked that people weren't eating cats and dogs And that was that. But they didn't fact check Kamala Harris when she kept saying that he was tied to 2025, Project 2025, which he's not.
Or the Very Fine People hoax.
They didn't fact check that.
Oh, no,
bloodbath hoax?
she told lie after lie. The fake news media, they think that the American people are stupid when they try to do these fact checks against President Trump. But Kamala told lie after lie. She falsely said that not one member of the United States military is in an active duty combat zone. Not true. Kamala Harris also said that she did not support a government takeover of healthcare. She does. She said she denied support for fracking when it was brought up in the debate. She does, as well as mandatory gun confiscation. She said that's not true when President Trump highlighted her support for defunding the police. I mean, the list goes on, and of course, they're not going to bring any of this up.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the debate.
But that's why she wants another one now. I mean, it's so fascinating that before her team would not commit. They acted like Trump asking for multiple debates was kind of rude and crazy. And now they're like, we want another debate, and he's being unreasonable. I mean, it's just such a like.
Well, Trump said, let's debate on Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
He should definitely debate again.
Why won't she do it?
He should debate her again. He should talk policy. He should just ignore the banter. I don't know if he can do that. That's my concern. That's why, as an independent voter and like an undetermined, like watching him just get defensive about his people don't leave my rallies. No one has ever left the Trump rally ever.
It's interesting
Like,
because
what the?
They're still
talking
there.
about?
Yeah.
Of course they leave from time to time.
The thing is, it's interesting because that obviously made a huge impression on you, but like I remember that. I also remember him talking about a lot of his issues. I remember getting more policy from him. He talked about the border. He talked about gun control. He talked about being pro-fracking. He talked about business stuff. She would give these platitudes like, well, I'm for an opportunity economy. And then she would never really explain it. And the other part is that she spent a lot of time talking about Trump. I mean, really, most of this, like if you remember, Trump was like, I put these tariffs in. They were good. It's going to help us on the world stage. It's good for our economy, whatever. You guys left them in place even though you attack me over them. That was one of the only times the moderators were then like, yeah, do you want to explain why they're still there? She completely ignored that, wouldn't talk about it at all. I mean, to me, Trump has an established legacy. He's already been president. His campaign has had policies out for a long time. She just released her policies. This is her first major media moment to explain them, and she just didn't. That's crazy to me. Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.